Hi, this is Kettle, and I'm doing a reading of vampire poetry. It's a little bit of synopsis here. So Lewis and Edward, who are both vampires, have spent the night collecting blood from the local population of the steampunk London. With the threat of werewolves and the heavenly knights, the two use the shadows to their advantage. As they reach the end of the night, Lewis wants to make a personal stop. Edward does not. The two go their separate ways, and Lewis waits for him. After seeing the appearance of a Leviathan and the Heavenly Knights approaching the house that Lewis just went into, Edward goes to warn his friend. When he reached the house, he found Lewis in an argument with his brother. After warning him, Harry, the brother, goes to let in the Heavenly Knights against the warnings of Lewis. Lewis reluctantly follows his brother, and Edward does as well. Sir, if I may, I find it highly improper that you search my home. My family is already asleep for the night, Harry responds. I reach the end of the hallway and peek around the corner to the wide entranceway. A set of stairs leads upstairs. Bright flowers are on a small table. The floor is clean to perfection, not one speck of dirt on it. Lewis is nowhere to be seen. Harry holds the door halfway open as he speaks to the man outside. Very well. Harry opens the door all the way, and several black-coated soldiers march into the room. Their boots leave dirt all over the floor. They shall not be long, a low and resounding voice mentions. A giant of a man in a long black coat steps into the room. He has a long, well-maintained beard, a thin scar on his cheek, and he carries a massive hammer with a drill at the end of it over his shoulder. I know him. It's Roth, and I really make myself as small as possible. At least his eyes rest on me. My heart beats faster, and I place my hand on my blade. Where's Lewis? Good evening. What a grand home you have. Roth looks at the hanging chandelier and the fine art on the walls. Sir Roth, I'm humbled to be in your presence. Harry bows. No bowing needed. Roth walks up to Harry and stares down at him. Now I pray that you won't make it too difficult for these soldiers to search your household. You wouldn't want to make matters difficult for yourself and your family, correct? Roth places his massive hand on Harry's shoulder. Of course not, sir. Harry looks away. Good, good. Roth sniffs the air as he takes his hand away from Harry's shoulder. There's something queer in this home. It might be the new flowers my wife set out, Harry offers as he steps back. Roth sniffs again. No, it's not that. He trains his eyes on Harry. Are you hiding vampires? Roth places his hammer on the ground. No, who would hide such filth? Harry retorts. Yes, who would indeed? Roth grabs Harry and lifts him into the air. Do you consider me a liar and a fool? I smell them. They are here. Roth moves his head in my direction. I quickly hide behind the wall. No, no, sir, I would never. Harry yells as I can still see them in a nearby mirror. You are a traitor. Roth drops Harry onto the floor. You fools, find them. He orders his men, pointing right to where I am. Then I hear the sound of punches and Harry grunting in pain. My heartbeat rockets up in tempo. Sweat builds on my forehead. I urge my body to run, yet I am frozen in place. The soldiers move towards where I'm hiding. It won't be long before they find me. Hand rests on my shoulder and I turn. It's Lewis. There you are. We must flee. I run down the hallway. I only make it a few steps and look back. Lewis is pulling out his blade and taking that fighting stance. Have you gone mad? I go back to him, attempt to drag him away. You will die if you do that. He dies if I don't. Unhand me. Lewis tears himself out of my grasp as the soldiers step into the hallway. I watch Lewis kill the first soldier with a blade across the neck. Blood sprays from the wound, and the man falls to his knees. Lewis kicks him aside and cuts the arm off the next soldier. The appendage slams into the wall, leaving a crimson stain behind. Will you watch, or will you draw your blade as well? Lewis yells at me. Regretfully, I take my blade out and join him. There are our vampires. Roth yells out as Lewis and I step into the room, cutting down each shoulder. Blood coats our clothes and faces. I have no time for fear as I must train my focus on avoiding the next sword swing and answering the attack of my own. Suddenly, a soldier throws a rope and it wraps itself around my ankles. I fall to the ground, and a current of painful electricity rampages through my body. The same thing happens to Lewis, and he joins me on the granite, its surface coated in blood. The remaining soldiers circle around us, point their blades at us. Let my brother go, Lewis demands as he grunts in pain. You're not in a negotiating position, Phil. Roth stares down at the bloodied Harry. Is this animal your brother? Yes, Harry says with broken teeth. I see. Roth picks up his hammer and holds it over Harry. Then, as a officer of the British Crown, I put you to death for associating and hiding the enemy. In the name of King Lucius, may you burn in hell for your sins. Roth slams the weapon in Harry's skull and it explodes into a mess of blood, bone, and brain matter. The gore splatters onto Roth and his soldiers. No, no. Lewis, with difficulty, uses his nails to cut the ropes on his ankles. The armed men wound Lewis, leaving bloody marks on his flesh. He doesn't seem to care as he kills most of them with his blood and teeth. The rest back away and join Roth. I lay on the ground, trapped in agony, unable to move. All I can do is watch Lewis walk towards Roth. Blood covers his body and drips onto the already bloodied floor. I don't see any humanity in his eyes. There's an emptiness to them, as if he has become a monster. I'll kill you, Lewis spits out. You may try. Roth pulls a cord on the side of his hammer. The inaudible sound of a mortar can be heard. The drill on his hammer turns rapidly. Steam surrounds Roth. Stand back. I will rid the earth of this animal, he orders his men. Lewis darts forward and tries to slash Roth across his side, but he blocks it. In return, Roth swings his hammer and Lewis ducks just in time. The weapon passes mere inches of his skull. Lewis cuts Roth's leg. You son of a bitch. Roth slams his hammer to the ground, attempting to hit Lewis with the drill, but he backs away out of range. I try to get up, but electricity still courses through me, binding me to the ground. Roth and Lewis keep fighting as the soldiers watch on. I know that even if Lewis wins, they might finish the job. I need to escape these binds. Suddenly, Roth knocks Lewis to the ground and slams his boot onto his chest. Time to join your brother. Roth hefts his hammer. Desperation pushes me to act, and using all my strength and will, I slash the binds off my ankles. Electricity falls away from my body. Roth lifts his hammer with no time to spare. I grab one of the knives on my belt and throw it at the chandelier hanging over Roth. The blade cuts the cord holding it up, and the large chandelier falls onto Roth and his men. Lewis steps back just in time. Rising myself to my feet and still feeling the numbing effects of the binds, I run to Lewis's side and help him to stand. Thank you, Lewis says. Out of the glass wreckage, a massive bloodied arm emerges. Fur coats the skin. You believe that will stop me? Surely you jest. Roth rises out of the reins of the chandelier. Glass shards are stuck into his quickly growing body. His eyes take on a yellow tint. Fur covers his body as he tears away his clothes. The soldiers rise out of the wreckage, taking on similar transformations. Flee, my friend. Push Lewis away, and together we escape the room. We'd run down the hallways trying to find an exit. Run, run. Like the rats you are, Roth screams, his voice taking on a rougher, more beast-like tone, like what a wolf would sound like. Roth and his men chase us, the claws tearing the ground behind us. In here, Lewis charges into an office and leads me to an open window. Swiftly, we exit the home and step out into the plain-looking backyard. Soft grass covers the ground. A small bench is in front of a pool. I'll kill you, Roth yells out from inside. His voice and heavy steps draw close. Lewis looks up at the house, and I follow his sight. The long rope ladder hangs from the upper window to the ground. Thank the Lord they escaped. Lewis turns away and searches along the ground. Who? What are you looking for? I ask. Harry's family in the hatch. I know it is here. Lewis rums glass. Lewis, we don't have time for this. We must flee. And I must ensure that you're okay, Lewis retorts. Suddenly, Roth breaks through a wall in the house and enters the backyard in a mess of wood. He has double in size and muscle. Fur covers every inch of his body. His nose is extended to the double length it used to be. Bloodshot and yellow-tinted eyes stare at us. His hands have changed into long, massive claws. He still carries his hammer. His men are behind him, having changed into werewolves, yet they are smaller. There shall be no running tonight. Ross charges at us. Together, Lewis and I run to meet him. What better way is there to die than right beside a friend, I think to myself. Snatching thought that floats through my mind just as Roth brings his hammer down upon us. In a split second, Lewis and I both avoid it as the weapon leaves a massive crater in the ground. The other werewolves try to help Roth, but he growls at them. No, 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 stay back, you fools. These two are my prey. Roth chases us. Seems that I was correct. I was never going to see the end of this night, I tell myself.